Hello, this is Isaiah Smith. This might be a longer video than usual. Let's begin. So I'm ranking from S tier to D tier of current meta um, decks. So D tier, we got Intercraft, and for Intercraft, I think it's so far there hasn't been enough details, except it's been just recently released, just like Killer Tune. So they just set, and then you just like special summon them if you want to flip them or set them. Killer Tune, I think you just gotta use like so many tuners, and that's all you just need to do the synchro summon. So these two are D tier. Next up, we got C tier. Marincess is pretty good. I mean, it's not that good, but it's pretty good with all the link summonings. Sorry about that. Next up, we got Iwagishiki with all the ritual plays. It's okay. Nivelles, same thing with the ritual plays, except they just tribute monsters that attack them or be targeted by effects. Next up, we got Cybers / Code Talker deck. It's an okay deck. I mean, it's not that great, but it's like if you play Malice, I think it would probably be better. But with just Code and Cybers deck, it's not really that great. Moving on, we got Magnets or Magnet Warriors. They're getting new support, so we'll just see what happens. And next thing is DDD. It's an okay deck, I guess. And then I think we got B Trooper, which technically is okay. Some people might not use this deck more often like they used to, but it was a pretty good deck. Next, we're moving on to B tier. I know this is a little fast, but because of the ranking, I couldn't do like E or F tier. So, tunes, they're pretty good, pretty solid. With the field spell, anyways. I should say they're probably okay deck. Moving on from there, Synchron. They got recently they just got some support, so Synchron is doing pretty well. In a competitive standard, it's solid. Next up is Supreme King, or in this case, Supreme King Zark deck. It's an okay deck. I mean, we're getting a new Odd Eyes card, so it might help the Supreme King deck pretty well. Next one is Predaplant. They recently just got some new support. It's pretty good. But overall, it might not be good right now, but later over these past months, I think they will probably be better for next year. So Predaplant, keep an eye on that deck. Dark Position, I should say it's a pretty good deck. They just got like one new support, so for a new Dark Position card. So I guess it's okay. Tangy Sword Soul, I think Sword Soul itself, like without Tangy, I think Tangy Sword Soul is okay. Not a lot of people play this deck, but it's actually pretty good. The next one is Super Heavy Samurai. Good defense while they're attacking, and that's all they mostly do. Super Quantum, I guess Super Quantum's okay, in my opinion. It is pretty powerful, depending on how you use the deck. So, Heroes or a Masked Hero, I think Masked Hero might be a little bit better. Maybe Evil Hero, but Heroes in general, I think, are kind of okay. We got Cyber Darks. I think with like Cyber Dark and Cyber Dragon, I think it's an okay deck, but with Cyber Darks, I think it's better. So, yeah. And that just like what I was talking about Cyber Darks, Cyber Dragon itself, like If you don't use Cyber Darks with this deck, it's okay. Dark World, I think, is okay. It's a solid deck. Um, Not a lot of people play this deck like they used to, but it's pretty good. With like discarding and then drawing and then discarding all the effects with the discarding. Um, Luna Lights. What should I say about Luna Lights? Luna Lights are a solid deck too. They just had I think they recently had a new boss monster. Not recently, but a couple months ago. So, because that thing, the boss monster is pretty OP as it is. So, it's an OP card. Galaxy Eyes or Photon Galaxy Eyes, like they just had one recent new Galaxy Eyes card. So, oh sorry, one new Galaxy Eyes card, and it's pretty good. Galaxy Eyes or Galaxy deck, I think would probably be better if they had more support. So, and I think they had another Xyz monster with the Galaxy. So, Blackwing, Blackwing is solid. I mean, with the synchro plays, I think just Blackwings themselves, I think is pretty solid. But with the synchro monsters, it makes it even 10 times better. Burning Abyss. I mean, Burning Abyss could go either way. It could be good, it could be bad. It depends on how you build the deck. A tier, we're moving on, is Tri Brigade. It's a pretty good deck. I'm not gonna lie about all the link plays with the Winged Beast monsters. And it's just overall pretty good. You could use it with Lyrilisk Tri Brigade. Just because it kind of works like that with the Winged Beast, but overall I think it's a good deck. Thunder Dragon, I think Thunder Dragon with Colossus back at 3, I think it's pretty good deck. Draco Tail, I think, is just dominating the meta at the same time, but it's not like that strong. It's pretty strong when you use it for like fusion summonings or contact fusion without using a fusion spell. So it's pretty good. Regenesis, I think, because I did win with this deck before. Um, it's a pretty good deck. You don't really need to like activate their effects to special summon them. You could just special summon them from hand if you have a 2500 attack or defense. So it doesn't really matter. And they can avoid hand traps. You just gotta be very careful with them. Snake Eyes, I believe that Snake Eyes is good. Just placing monsters in the spell and trap card zones is very, very good, especially with like maybe like I don't know, maybe with like Fire King, Snake Eyes, Ash, might be pretty good with Fire King. Overall, it's a pretty good deck. Adventurer tokens, I think, with like gold, I think it's like Gold Pride Punk Adventurer. I think it's a good combo, especially with the tokens themselves, with 2k attack and whatever. Moving on, we're gonna go with Channel Elements. A lot of people been playing this deck without the Cacaos. I think the Fusion Monster, I believe it slew down, but then there's other ways to contact fuse without using that, or just learning how to like fusion summon in general. Overall, it's a pretty good deck. Scareclaw, I think Scareclaw is pretty good. It forces your opponent from attack to defense because of the boss link monster. Overall, it's a pretty good deck from over the years. Runic, um, Runic. There's like a lot of Runic spells that just banish your opponent's top deck, depending on what kind of cards that they banish, and overall it can deck out your opponent, so it's pretty good, depending on the quick play spells. Okay, Trap Tricks, I think Traps Tricks is a pretty good deck. It lets you set like traps from your deck or hand, depending on what the Trap Tricks do. Overall, I think it's okay. Resonator, I think, is pretty good. They just recently just got a couple new support, so it's solid. Uh, Punk, like I said, Gold Pride Punk, I think, is pretty good with the synchro plays and the fusion plays. So, Live Twin or Evil Twin, I think, is a good deck. Overall, I keep losing that deck, and then it's pretty solid. It's pretty awesome. Conko just forces you from attacking them, then you deal the damage, but your opponent takes the damage instead. So with the equip spells, I think, your opponent just takes all that damage. Utopia is a pretty good deck. It's pretty solid. Slash the Gaga deck. Pearly is good. It's actually pretty nice to use this deck to just use like spells to Xyz summon. Orcus is pretty good with the links. Solomon Grade, I think, is just good in general, especially with all of the link plays. Demian, I think, with all the tuners, I think it's really good. Labyrinth, yes, basically just sets trap cards. I think this is Gold Pride, so Gold Pride is pretty good, especially with the Punk deck. Rocket, I think, is okay. It's pretty solid for the deck. I mean, it's very competitive. Frog Sprite or whatever, or Frog like Paleo, I think is good. It did top some regionals, so Invoked is pretty good with all the summoning mechanics, or should I say fusion summoning. The field spell protects you from getting negated from the fusion spells, so that's good. Gem Knight, I think Gem Knight is a good fusion deck overall. Eldritch is a good zombie deck, and it's good for like traps. So Blunderies is a good normal summon deck. And that's basically what it's about. Otherwise it's okay. Dogmatica is a good deck. Everybody mostly uses that deck. Not Elid, Despia, I think, is pretty good, especially with the branded stuff. Which, keep in mind, I think I forgot about the branded, but we'll talk about that later. Because branded is pretty good deck too, with Despia. So Amnesia, I think, is pretty good. It's kind of confusing, but it's actually a really solid deck to use your fusion and synchro plays. So yeah. Hack of Hands, I think, is good to steal your opponent's graveyard, and probably extra deck depending on how you use it. So this is the recent build. Rizio is a good Xyz deck, but they are starting to limit and ban some of these cards, so it's kind of falling behind, but it's a very good competitive deck. Dragon Maid, I think, is overall good as itself. Maybe even with Draco Tail. And then Malice, I think Malice is pretty good with all the link plays. Especially it's a good Cybers deck, better than the regular Cybers deck. So Crystron, I think Crystron is good to everybody's opinion, but it's an okay synchro deck. Centurion is good with the synchro plays and then the tokens. Bystials, I think they're a good deck. It depends on how the build is played. Plus, you get to banish your opponents like monsters from the graveyard, depending on if they're light or dark, and they're like hand traps if you like use them if your opponent controls a monster. Vanquish Soul is pretty good with all of the special summons. Ignister, I think, is pretty good with all of the, like, mechanics. And it's a pretty good Cybers deck. And then last but not least, Harris. Harris is good because of all of the continuous spells. So, plus they also, like, can summon themselves depending on what Harris effect it happens. But overall, it's a pretty good deck. Let's move on to S tier. Fiendsmith is a pretty good link deck because it just overall, because everybody just mostly uses this deck. So, Yubel is pretty good with all the damage that your opponent deals instead of you. Blue Eyes with, like, Primate Blue Eyes, I think is good, but Blue Eyes itself is a pretty good deck. We got Unchained, pretty good with S tier. It's pretty powerful. We got Sky Striker. Sky Striker has been used a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh history, so it's a pretty good link deck. And last but not least, we got Voiceless Voice. This deck has been dominating the meta for years, and that's why it's so good. So, my overall thoughts about all these decks, it was really hard to pinpoint them, and it was really kind of hard to record this since I didn't have enough storage. So, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope you enjoy this video because it was kind of pretty long to explain all these, but yeah, I think one final thought about Voiceless Voice is that it's a pretty good ritual deck. It can protect itself depending on the continuous spells or their effects. So, plus it's a pretty good deck in general, but I think overall Fiendsmith just dominates the entire meta. Fiendsmith, I think everybody just uses it. It's a pretty good deck. And do not sleep on these decks because these decks are pretty powerful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and take care.